Good morning. This is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch for animals and people. And this is Tristan. He's a Corgi, and we're here for an episode of Conversations with a Corgi. And today we are, in fact, talking about conversations with your animals in the context of moving. I have had, just in the last couple of weeks, a few clients who are moving animals. One client rescued a horse. He wasn't getting enough turnout where he is, and she was really diligent and found a good place for him to be turned out with a friend, which he desperately needed and wanted. And she was very concerned because getting him to the first place was not so easy. Meanwhile, my sister is moving 2 miniature horses and a bunch of dogs and my mom's old schnauzer and 6 or 7 chickens to North Carolina today, where it is in fact stormy and they're expecting snow overnight. So much for moving south for warm weather. You know, I'll never forget, we moved to Virginia and it just, whenever it was cold, it did snow because it's a very moist environment down there near Richmond. But it melted pretty fast, and it was really fun when you're in 7th grade to play in it and not have to shovel it. So anyway, moving with your animals can be super stressful for them and for you. There are many things. I mean, I've written a few articles about moving with pets. Important things to keep in mind with horses in particular is bringing some water from the place where you were, so that when they get to the new place, the water there won't taste or smell different and leave them not drinking, because after a long road trip, or even a short road trip, a lot of horses just don't want to drink, and that's how they end up with colic. And then the other thing that happens is we feed them, and this happens at shows too. You feed them in the morning, grain and hay and water, throw them in the trailer, drive them somewhere. They're bumped around, they're traumatized by the whole change in situation. Even if they're used to it, it's still startling to open the trailer door and be like, oh, this isn't where I was. And then at the end of the day, you feed them again and just leave them. And, that's not really such a good idea. It's a good idea to walk them a little while after they eat in the evening, keep things moving, and just try to make their routine as absolutely normal as possible. And at horse shows, this sometimes meant really juggling my classes and my feeding times and my practice times, all that. So moving with clean water from the same water that they're used to drinking is a good idea. I learned this because many of my friends showed in the hunter classes at the Madison Square Garden show back in the days when we had it. And New York City water has a very distinct taste. It's not necessarily bad or worse or better than other water, but it has a very distinct taste. And people would be coming in from, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and New England, and Maryland, and Virginia with their horses, and they wouldn't drink the New York City water. So one of the tricks horse people do is put like a little bit of mint extract or mint essential oil in the water for a few days before they leave, and then do that once they get there. Always people bring water that's the same from where they were. I mean, I have still in my basement like 5 big 5-gallon gas cans, maybe they're 10 gallons, that I used to bring to horse shows to water my horses with water that they were used to. So really think about that. Cats are picky with their water. They might be an animal you overlook because they don't drink that much. But clean water, just like the water they were drinking, is a good idea. Even if you have them on like distilled water before you move and then after you move. Distilled water doesn't have a lot of the minerals in it they need, but it's a good transition. So water's a big deal. But as I mentioned earlier, this show was going to be about conversations with your animal. So the person that was moving with their horse, I recommended that she start telling him that A, she wasn't leaving him because she's only had him a couple months. B, that he was going to be with her for a long time, and that she was taking him to a place that was better for him, where he would have friends and where she could spend more time with him and where he could go out more. So she kept literally talking to him and telling him this when she was with him, and also creating a picture in her mind, this is the key thing, of the place she was moving to, so that he would kind of understand. And when he gets off the trailer, he won't be like, oh my God, what happened? And also being as calm as you can when you arrive. So she did some work herself, some heart hugs, T-Touch heart hugs on her and the horse, in order to prepare them for the trip in the morning. And before she got out of the truck to unload the trailer, she was doing heart hugs. And, you know, just very calmly led him around. Linda Tellington talks about doing toning, which is really singing to your horse to keep your breathing regular. And it's so exciting when a horse gets to a new place. You know, there's a lot of commotion. Everybody wants to see him. The other horses are like, oh my gosh, who's here? There's whinnying. But the calmer you can make that process, the better for your horse. And talking to him about it is a good thing. And, you know, people might think you're nuts, but your horse will be a lot happier, and therefore you'll be safer and happier as well. And the same goes for somebody like my sister, moving with all these chickens. I mean, come on. Horses we do put in trailers. The 2 horses she has have been to lots of shows, the minis. But chickens don't usually go anywhere except to the 4-H show, maybe. These chickens haven't gone anywhere. And they're not easy animals to move. I mean, for the most part, they're pretty sedentary and quiet, and at this time of year especially is good to move a chicken. But sure would be helpful to spend a few minutes with those chickens, and I think my mom probably will, because that's just the kind of person she is. She won't do it in any consciously thought out way, but just say to them, come on, you got to get in your box, we're going to your new farm. And, you know, she's going to imagine their new chicken coop, which she's seen, and how good it is for them and how safe they'll be there. And, you know, they've got their little chicken buddies in the crates around them. So that's very helpful to be able to just imagine where you're going with your animals and let them know you're going. With cats, it can be even trickier. My sister has had to lock her cats in the house for the last week so that when they were leaving, they would be accountable for their whereabouts, which her cats aren't always. One of them thinks he was living at the neighbor's part-time. Anyway, getting the cats gathered up and then, you know, again, getting them in their boxes and then loading the boxes. And, you know, if you don't talk to them ahead of time, a cat may have his morning constitutional at 10 a.m. and you're leaving at 8 a.m., let's say. And you got to give him some preparation, like, buddy, use that litter box tonight because tomorrow you're going in your box. And I've had cats come to me from some great distance, and a lot of them are old and sick, and it might be a 2-hour drive. And the people have thoughtfully put some litter in the back of the box with a blanket towards the front, and the cats have needed them on occasion because these are old and sickly, the cats that I'm seeing. And that's a very courteous thing to do, but, you know, I don't know where those cats are riding, but to have to smell cat litter in the back of your car that has been used while you're driving, not fun. So it behooves you to say to your cats, okay, we're leaving at this time, and imagine it, you know, like right after your normal breakfast, and if you need to use the restroom, do it before we go, just like a little kid. Because cats can be very hard to move, and then with cats, you want to keep them, of course, indoors, especially after you move. Many a cat, or a dog for that matter, has been let out or lost while the moving process was occurring, and it takes quite a lot of work to find them. They don't know where they are. They don't know where to go. They aren't familiar with the new house. You know, it's a great thing once you get there with your dog, certainly, to take him for a walk around the whole neighborhood, you know, everywhere that you can, so that he sees how to get back to your house and knows the smells to get him there. So that's with dogs. But with cats, you want to keep them indoors for a long time, like weeks before you start letting them out. And even then, letting them out like to sit on like a screened porch so they can see their neighborhood before they're out roaming. That's a safe thing to do. But I have had to work with people who have lost cats in trying to locate them. And I'm not really an animal communicator, but I have to say I have been very helpful finding lost cats on moves, often by using a dog. Dogs are really good at tracking their relative family members when they're lost. And of course, you know, when you're moving a hamster or something, they're so little, just going from the living room to your bedroom can be like a gigantic change. So going from the living room in this state to the next state isn't necessarily so traumatic. But again, the water can be a big factor with a little animal like that. A hamster or guinea pig, they don't necessarily drink that much. So bring a gallon jug of the usual water they've been getting with you when you move, and then gradually mix it in with the new water until they're transitioned over, because people just don't think about that with rabbits and things. But the most important thing is to talk to your pet and let him know that you are moving. I don't know that you need to go so far as to show him a picture on the computer of the new place. My dog Comet would have looked at that and understood that. This dog is not visual that way. He does not watch TV like the other dog. He doesn't really look at dogs on the computer. Sometimes if I get a video of some of his wiener friends or his girlfriend Coco or Arrow the Corgi, he will watch him on the computer because, I don't know, I'm saying, here's Arrow, and he's like, where? But anyway, really important to let your pets know that you're moving and have a clear plan of what you're going to do when you arrive. Moving is so difficult and challenging. You know, with the horse, you're arriving with a saddle, a bridle, a bunch of tack, and at this time of year, in a northern climate, tons of blankets. And you want to have the stall ready for the horse before you get him out of the trailer. It's a great thing, if you can, to put him in a little paddock or the riding ring or something at the new place while you're unpacking, so that he can kind of get the lay of the land, see people, see things, see you. You know, if he can do that calmly with a little bit of hay, and then you can get his stall ready. It's much more ideal to have that done before you arrive. And I must say, many, many barn managers where I've had my horses do a great job of preparing a nice clean stall, scrubbed down on the sides so there's no poopies from prior horses, clean bedding, clean hay, often hay that I've brought from my old house mixed in. And then, you know, I usually have my own water buckets, especially in the beginning. But some farms have built-in electric waterers. And if your horse isn't used to automatic waterers, you might want to keep a bucket in his stall for a while till he figures that out, because it's a big shift for a horse to go from throwing his whole head with a bunch of hay in his mouth into a bucket to have to, you know, push a pedal in like a water bubbler and get a mouthful of water. So it's a big difference for a lot of horses. And horses, you know, they can move a lot in their lifetime. This horse that I was working with recently has moved more than he liked, and so he was likely to have been disrupted. The other thing I like to encourage you to do when you're moving a bunch of animals and is to use flower essences. There are some that are particularly for travel. I've had a few people moving lately actually order some from me to help move their pets to their new destination. Those flower essences are good for you, good for all the pets in the house. You can give them, let's say you're planning to move on a Saturday, I would start giving them that flower essence Wednesday or Thursday and keep them on it for, you know, through the next Wednesday, you know, for a week. And maybe even a little bit past that, because moving isn't just about getting to the new location. Now you're going to be riding on new trails. Now your horse is going to have new friends. He's going to be in different pastures. So that transition process can take a while. And the same with the cat. You know, you've got one that's been living outside. Now he's been cooped up for a couple weeks. Now he's going to be cooped up for a couple more weeks. And then he's going to get to go out. So a cat like that, you're going to really want to keep him on that safe travel kind of flower essence for a while, just to get him used to the new environment. With dogs, perhaps the same thing. They might have new friends, new routines. Maybe your job is different, your hours are different. So those flower essences can be super helpful. And again, those are botanical animal flower essences. You can read about them on my website, www.sallymorganpt.com. So that's a few things to keep in mind if you're moving with your animals. I know at this time with COVID, a lot of people aren't moving, but there are also people with financial shifts that are causing them to have to move, or to move their horse from one place to another. So really important to communicate with your animals that you're moving, because it is so disruptive. And you know, dogs I've known will watch you packing, and they see the boxes around the house, and you know, even when you're going away for a vacation, they notice the suitcases out, and they know what that means, that they're either going with you or they're staying home alone. So dogs are a little more intuitive that way. Cats sometimes just think, as cats would, that you're just nuts and you're rearranging the house in some new way with these cool boxes that they can climb, and wasn't that courteous of you to rearrange things on their behalf. But with horses, it can be a little bit more dramatic to move them. So even with the small animals, the guinea pigs, hamsters, rabbits, things like that, I also suggest the flower essences for those when you're moving them. And lots of tea touches on the ears, and lots of heart hugs when you get there and on the way. She uses Rescue Remedy. Yeah, the botanical animal flower essences have one called Safe Journey. That's the one I mostly recommend for moving. Rescue Remedy, you know, we all know it because it was one of the first flower essences that we were familiar with, and we've all used it kind of for the wrong things because it's kind of a broad spectrum one. So Rescue Remedy does work when you're moving, like if you had moved your horse and he got out of the trailer whinnying and hysterical, you might give him Rescue Remedy then. But if you had been giving him the safe journeys before you even got there, he wouldn't be doing that. So, or talking to him. It really, really helps our animals to visualize what's happening, where we're going, what it's going to look like, what their life is going to be like, their dinner bowls, their litter box, their dog bed. Imagine where those are all going to be in the new house, and it'll make your whole move much more easy. And if you do go to my website, there are a couple articles about moving. I think I wrote one for Chewy. I'm not really sure, but they're in a pretty good long list there that are pretty clear what they're about. So there's 2 or 3 about moving. So if you really are moving, check those out. Everybody have a great day. I think next week we will be back on Tuesday. I'm not sure. My educator job is all over the place because we're getting a lot more work on some days of the month and a lot less work on other days of the month. But certainly I have dog school on Wednesday, and I definitely work at that job on Monday. So Tuesday or Thursday, sometime next week, we'll try to do an episode. Everybody have a great day, and talk to your pets, even if you're not moving, and remember to tell them how great they are and how much we appreciate them every day. Thanks for joining us. Everybody have a good day.